Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and I don't know if you guys could see where I am right there, but I am in the park. I am doing a live tips and tricks video for Epicuniverse. I do not have a script today at all. This is just going to be my honest opinion, some of the things that I'm picking up as I enjoy my day here at Epicuniverse. So if you at home have a Universal Orlando trip coming up and you do plan to come to Epic, you're gonna wanna watch this video, stick around till the end, as this is like everything we've been waiting for. This is the in the parks way to game the system, the way to get the most out of your day here at Epicuniverse. As you could tell, I'm really excited. It's gonna be an amazing day, so let's go get started. All right, so the first tip and trick of the day is gonna be right when you walk in, essentially, right when you come through the turnstiles right here. If you want to get either a stroller or rent an EV, scooter, you're gonna walk in and then you're gonna turn to your left, and you'll see they're right there. So you do have the option, if you're not bringing a stroller from home or if you need some additional help getting around the park, you're gonna walk in and come directly to your left. Another important tip and trick is, I would say, if you're coming here in the morning, especially to take advantage of early park admission, get here early. One of the biggest things that I could see so far, one of the biggest differences is that you have your security right before the turnstiles. Now, what I could see happening is in the morning, there could be really long lines to either get through security, to get to that point. It pays to be here early. My honest opinion has always been to show up an hour before park opening, but I think it's even more important now, if this setup stays the same. You're gonna see you have security, then right after it you have the turnstiles. I could see really long lines trying to get in, especially during those first couple of weeks when there are gonna be a lot of people coming here. All right, so the next tip and trick is right as you walk in, if you're looking for locker rentals, they're going to be right here. Let's go find them together, to the left. So we're walking through. If you keep walking straight, you can see the park right there. Yep, but here is my beautiful girlfriend Anne. And here we have the first batch of locker rentals. And you can see we have a couple different sizes. Oh, the other really cool thing, and we'll go over this, is another tip and trick is a lot of the locker rentals here at the park are now photo validation. So it makes it a lot easier, because let's say that I did this constantly. I would leave my key or I leave my ticket inside the locker. It's a lot easier with photo validation now. All right, so for the next tip and trick, this one is going to be as you walk through. Now, as you walk through, you're gonna see, if you're coming for early park admission, there's gonna be two ways. You can either go left and you can head over to Super Nintendo World, or you can go over here to the right if you're going to Stardust Racers. Now, Universal has announced they do have Super Nintendo World and they have Stardust Racers open for early park admission. So you do wanna pick, like I said, left for Super Nintendo World and the right for Stardust Racers. Now, tip and trick on top of the tip and trick would be straight ahead. That is Helios Grand Hotel. So they actually have an entrance coming into Epicuniverse. So if you are staying at that hotel and you're coming in for early park admission, obviously you're going to do what I just said in reverse. But this is kind of how you're entering. The other important thing that we've seen so far based on the early park admission, we're actually here for what they call the dress rehearsal. So the park technically is not open yet, but as you can see, there's a lot of people in here so far. What they're telling guests they could do is you could go, and there's gonna be two lines when you walk in. If you do not have early park admission, you can get on a separate line and then you'll be let in once the park opens for regular guests. So just keep that in mind. You could still show up early and take advantage of the park a little bit before it actually opens up. You can't go on rides, but there will be two separate lines. All right, so here's one of the new stores here at Epicuniverse. As you guys can see, we have a lot of merch. But one of the cool things that I actually really have been enjoying seeing from my time in the parks, as you can see here, they have these costumes where you can now come and you can get dressed up, or it's really made up with makeup as one of your favorite monsters. And I think this is something that's very similar to over at Disney with the Bibbidi Boppity. But just something that I'll do this again. I'll show you exactly where it is, but something that we have seen so far that is really cool. All right, so another important tip and trick is make sure you download the Universal Orlando app before you get down here. But I guess this is more important for Epic, and another one is to keep an eye out for these informational boards along here. especially in the first couple weeks and months, as you know, these are very new rides, right? So some of the things that we've seen in the first couple weeks is sometimes they might go down, right? Especially the most popular ones. Monsters Unchained right now, we're seeing it sometimes be down here and there, but the reason why it's important is keep an eye on it. You'll see, hey, oh, we're walking over to Monsters Unchained, but you might see the ride is down. It's especially important in the morning. We actually got here a couple days ago. We did wait for Monsters Unchained and it was down, so we waited in line for an hour. Now it went back up, of course, because they fixed their rides, they get it back up, but it's just something to keep in mind, especially the first couple weeks while they're getting all the kinks worked out here in the parks. But the Universal Orlando app also will give you all of the current wait times, if the ride's down, all that good stuff. So make sure you download it before you get down here to Orlando. Okay, so for the next tip and trick, there are a couple different restaurants, new restaurants, of course, here at Epic. But one of them that we have our eyes on right there is called the Atlantic. Now, the cool thing about this one, as you can see, is it's right on the water. And we have a feeling it's going to be one of the most popular restaurants, specifically at night, just because of how beautiful Epicuniverse is. And you can see me, it's going to have a view. There's water fountains behind us. There's definitely going to be a nighttime show here at the park. So make sure that you're booking your dining in advance, especially if you want to do a sit-down meal here at the parks. So I'm about to hit you with two tips and tricks within one. So the first one is going to be, there's actually another Starbucks here within the park. So once you get really kind of into the park and you get past where it's Super Nintendo World is kind of behind me, right past Pizza Moon, there's a second Starbucks on the left. But another thing that I'm finding really interesting and that's really enjoyable right now is here within Celestial Park, I'm gonna try not to ruin this other guy's video, is there's actually live music. You guys could see and hear behind me. I'll try to get you a better view. But there's some people just hanging out, kind of taking in the music. It's not that crowded because we're still in right dress rehearsals, but you'll see behind me, we do have some live music, which is really cool. It kind of really changes the vibe up here in the park. You don't feel, especially with Grand Helios behind me, you don't feel like you're in a theme park right now. Or at least this is completely different from any theme park that we've seen. So another tip to keep an eye out for, it's not actually running right now, but right behind us here in Celestial Park, it looks like we are gonna have a splash pad for kids to come and just run off some steam, right? So I got some rules behind me. It says, splash pad rules, no food or beverages and water play area. So that's definitely something that we're expecting. It's right across from Celestial, the carousel right here. And then of course behind us, we do have great views of Helios Grand Hotel. And we'll go down and take a look at what's going on down there next. So one of the other really cool things is that throughout the day, we have seen the fountain area here just kind of start to do performances and shows, and you could see it's really beautiful, but also you could tell there, Universal has confirmed there is going to be a nighttime show, and so we do have some seated areas around the main water area here within the park. You can also see right there, you see that dragon is the second sit-down restaurant. We'll take you over there in a little bit, and you'll see it also has great views, of course, and then another tip and trick within, this doesn't really have to do with the park per se, but hotel, is you could see those the resort view rooms up there at Helios Grand Hotel. By far one of the most popular rooms in all of Universal Orlando at this point, just because you'll see how beautiful this park is at night, and then we'll talk about the entrance over there in a bit as well. So we spoke about shade a little bit earlier, but what you'll see is around the water fountain, what you have is you do have man-made shading. You have umbrellas. There's not a ton, but it's just something important to keep in mind if you're coming to the parks, especially if you're bringing grandparents with you to the parks, right? And they need a place to just hang out and sit for a little bit. Keep an eye because, like I said, there's not much shading, but Universal is giving us some spots that are going to be better than others. So another important tip and trick to keep in mind is what we're finding there are these concierge desks. Now specifically what it looks like anyway is there's one right outside of Dark Universe, and then there's another right outside of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. So the important thing, the reason why I'm bringing it up is specifically here, is this is where you're gonna find the fuel rod stations. Of course, if you don't know what they are the portable phone chargers. And so the parks have them here because you could pay for one, and then if you charge your battery, you can then just go and you pretty much sub it out and you get a brand new charger to kind of keep your day going. So it's really important, something especially as we're in the parks and you're on your phone now a lot, especially if you buy one of these, which we'll talk about in a bit. You will be on your phone a lot, draining the battery. It's important to understand where the refillable charging stations are. And from what we could see, those are the easiest. Those are right outside Dark Universe. You turn left and you'll find it right there. Same thing on the other side of the Ministry of Magic, since we were already over there. So another thing that I'm seeing just from my initial kind of, walking around the park is there is a ton of bars. And also all of the bars and like the restaurants are so well themed and just cool. You could see the, the theming up there with the stars, but you could just see like a little window bar. This one is called the Plastered Owl from what I could see. But yeah, just really just a lot of bars. So, I mean, I don't know what Universal is telling us, but yeah, a great way to come grab a drink, kind of hang out in the park. Maybe you need some courage before you get on to Monsters Unchained, I don't know. So here is the second restaurant that I had mentioned before, the second sit-down restaurant. This is gonna be the Blue Dragon. It's making me chuckle, making me laugh a little bit. For anyone who has seen Rush Hour 2, Red Dragon, Universal went with the Blue Dragon. So it's in a prime location right here. You could see just really cool vibes, especially these, you have some table seating right out here on the water. It's located right next to Helios Grand Hotel, which is really cool as well. We're gonna go check out the private entrance from Helios right now. Okay, so you guys could see here is the park. There's the signs that tell you which way to go, right? And then when you turn around right here, here is Helios Grand Hotel. And so here is the walking path that would essentially take you right up to Helios Grand Hotel. Now, one of the tips and tricks, I guess I would say, I already spoke about the theme park view rooms, right? I would say though, one of the things you gotta keep in mind is, especially at night, you're pretty much on display, if that makes sense. You definitely can, from the park, see into the rooms. Not a huge deal for a lot of people. I'm just mentioning it just because it's something I picked up, and everyone always says that they love my honesty, my real tips and tricks. That's something you have to keep in mind. But you do have, on the reverse side, some amazing views of the park. I don't think we've ever had views like this of a theme park, as beautiful of like views that we've had here at Epic Universe. Okay, so here is the walking path once again. We just wanted to show you guys. So here is kind of where you're going through security, and you can see down here, really, here's your walking path that will bring you into the park. And you could see right there is where I was recording the video right before. So literally it's gonna be 2 minutes. Now, of course, the tip and trick here is going to be, how do you tackle early park admission if you're coming in from Helios Grand Hotel? And I would say, based on what I've seen so far, there's not gonna be, pretty much just go with whichever ride you wanna go with. If you want to go to Super Nintendo World, go for it. If you wanna go to Stardust Racers, go for it. I don't really see an advantage, or I think you're probably a little bit closer with this entrance, but it's not gonna be much. There's not gonna be too much of like a time advantage when compared to coming in at the entrance of the park and taking advantage of early park admission. All right, so we just came to stop for lunch, and so we're in Dark Universe at Das Steakhouse. And so this is one of the brand new, it's not a sit-down restaurant per se, but this is kind of what the vibes look like. We're gonna go sit down, and then I'm sure it's gonna be mobile ordering. So that's a tip and trick to make sure you're prepared. Of course, download the Universal Orlando app. But one of the main reasons why you wanna make sure you do that is a lot of the food, the quick service food restaurants do make you mobile order. So it just allows your day to go that much smoother because you'll be ready. All right, so you guys can see the theming here inside the restaurant now. And so even, like, look at the chairs with the bats on them, you see them? And then the other cool thing is we have all of this, and then the chandeliers up there. And then I show you guys really up close and personal to show you just a really cool themed restaurant. All right, so our food is here. So here's what it looks like. You can see they have a lot of like what they call, so this was on a steak. And so it's just sticking with the theme. Then of course we got a scary dessert there. And then I got the forager salad with salmon. And there's a lot going on. It's really cool inside this whole, this restaurant. So this is what lunch looks like. This isn't exactly a tip of course, but just wanted to fill you guys in as you get ready for your trip. All right, so now we're out in Dark Universe. One of the things you got to keep an eye out for are the character kind of interactions here. So you can see here we have the Invisible Man who's just out and about, kind of hanging out. But also I'll show you guys, if you come over here, there is also a violinist who, as you can see, is right over there, kind of playing. So just overall, it's like I was trying to grab something out of my bag. Overall, just really, really cool vibes here in Dark Universe. All right, so back in Dark Universe, another important tip and trick is right here when you see this sign, if you come through, it's not open right now, but back here is going to be where you can do the character meet and greet. So it's going to be Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, and then also you'll see Igor is going to be running around this area, as well as the castle here within Darkmoor is kind of it's lighting up right now. It's going up, if you guys could see, all the way up there. So also keep an eye out for that. And then there's two main rides here. So I'm trying to wait to see if anything else happens. So we have the first ride within the castle is going to be Monsters Unchained. And then over here is going to be Curse of the Werewolf. So another important tip and trick to keep in mind is Universal, of course, has the Express Pass. I'm not going to get into the Express Pass in this video. I actually have an entire video on how the Express Pass works at Epic, so definitely be sure to just go check that out. But they do have single rider lines here in the parks as well. So of course, single rider lines can be great if you're a family and maybe you have, one child who's old enough to kind of go on the thrill rides, but the other kids are just too small. They can go with an adult, or if they want to go on their own, or even a parent if they want to go on their own, right? So like really for teenagers, or just anyone, if you're okay riding alone, take advantage of it. It's not guaranteed to be a shorter wait, but in a lot of situations, it typically will be a little bit shorter, and it can be a great way to just get on a lot more rides, quicker. So we're walking by Curse of the Werewolf, and one of the tips and tricks that kind of popped in was we were here at Epic a couple of nights ago at night, and this ride at night, it didn't look like you could see anything. So if you want a little bit more of an elevated experience, definitely come check out this ride at night. And I would say the tip and trick here within the tip and trick is this park is amazing at night. It really is like anything we've ever seen before. The rides are elevated. So, and this has been a tip and trick I've given before, but this time for different reasons, I would say tackle the indoor rides in the afternoon, and you really want to leave the outdoor rides for either early in the morning or at night. Now, early in the morning, one of the main reasons is, especially during the summers here in Florida, it's going to rain in the afternoon, right? So you target the outdoor rides in the morning to give you the best chance of getting on them. But then on the flip side, going on the rides at night gives a different experience now to it. Now, this is one of the rides where it elevates, I would say, the scariness. But Stardust Racers lights up at night, so that's completely amazing. Going over to the Isle of Berk, just in general, the vibes over there at night were really, really cool. So you could just see there's just so many advantages and different reasons why you can have a game plan to target specific rides at specific times. All right, so we're coming over to the Burning Blade Tavern. And so this tip and trick I actually learned the other day. And one of the things I would say here is this is legit a tavern where you can grab drinks, but you can also get food here. But the seating is minimal. And one of the things that I personally did not like about this restaurant in particular is that even if you mobile order, you actually have to come around the side and you need to pick your food up outside at this the back of this restaurant. I'll show you. And the reason why I really wasn't crazy about that is we had a table inside. And so we went up to grab our food, at the bar, and they were like, well, no, you have to go into the back. So this is kind of the way you pick your food up. And when I was back here, the line was just really long. So just something to keep in mind if you are ordering food. For right now anyway, that is where you pick the mobile ordering up. So another important tip and trick is at night, the Burning Blade Tavern, that will light up. So if you want to see something cool that you probably won't see in a theme park, come and check that out. But touching on the food for a second, I think one of the important things that I'm realizing is even though there's not many quote unquote table service restaurants here in the park, I just said that one of the things about mobile ordering that I didn't like But I will say on the flip side is the other restaurants that we've been to. So specifically, we just ate at Das Steakhouse. The other day we ate at Toadstool Cafe. One of the things that I'm really enjoying is at the restaurants that have plenty of tables, the mobile ordering has been very convenient where they bring it out to your table, and the food quality, it has been amazing. And I think that's the thing that Universal has an advantage over Disney right now when it comes to quick service restaurants. Disney's quick service, the food has always been good, but you now, when you're mobile ordering at Disney, you have to go get your food, right, bring it back to your table. Universal's changing the game where they're bringing, at quick service, you're mobile ordering, they're bringing the food out to you, but the quality has been amazing. And I think that's something that they have the advantage of. So yes, are there hiccups like this where I'm not really crazy about the way this one is set up, but at the other quick service restaurants that we've been to, I would say that there are benefits and pros. And I think you really don't need to worry about reservations because you're really gonna get a great meal at any of the quick service restaurants you go to. Even here, the food we had here, the food here was more, it was like bar food. We had the pretzel, we had the little bites, kind of like a falafel with grilled chicken. The food here was really good. I guess that's where I'm going with it. I wouldn't go crazy. Don't worry if you don't have one of the official sit-down restaurant reservations. You're still gonna have really great meals throughout the park, which I think is a game changer. So we're coming into one of the character meet and greets here in Dark Universe. Thank you so much. And so I don't know if you guys could see behind me, but we do have the Bride of Frankenstein. And I actually think that is Frankenstein as well. So we'll keep you guys posted on how this character meet and greet goes if we make it out alive. All right, so here is one of the other things that I had mentioned before. You could see this is the monster makeup experience. So here you can come in and it's pretty much the reverse of the Bibbidi Bobbidi where you're being turned into a monster, right? And so you could see, I'll take you guys inside of the store, and they do have like the costumes that you could pick to wear within the store. So you could see there's one of them, but I also showed you guys earlier, you could see that you can get dressed up to try to give you some, some different stuff to do throughout your day. So here's another character experience, just roaming around Dark Universe. There's Igor. And then as you can see in the background, just really, really cool vibes.
Okay, nice stuff.
And you'll see, like, just exploring too. I'll take you guys over here where you walk in to Dark Universe. But like when you first walk in, like if you just walk up, you'll see like at certain parts, you'll start hearing someone talking from within here. Just a very well done land. So we just left the Untrainable Dragon show. And I think the thing that I don't understand is how Disney doesn't have more shows like this. I think Universal now has, in my honest opinion, 2 dynamite shows that like you cannot miss. The first is the Born Stuntacular over in Universal Studios Florida, but the second is this show. You cannot come to Epic Universe and not see this show. And especially if you have kids that love How to Train a Dragon, there's one part of the show that you are just, you'd be like, how did they do this? Like, this is incredible. Especially for a theme park, it's just incredible. The tip I would also say too is sit a little bit further back. And you'll have a great, there's not a bad seat in the house, but if you sit a little bit further back, you'll understand, you'll have an even better view in my opinion, anyway. So another good tip and trick is down here, there's probably one of the most family-friendly rides in the park, and that is Fire Drill. Now I'll try to give you guys a glimpse of kind of what it looks like, but it is quote unquote one of the water rides down here in the park. And so this is what the boats look like, if you guys can see. And it's definitely one of the rides that you will get wet on. And the reason, I haven't been on it yet. If you watch my channel, you know I don't like to get wet on when I'm in the park, the regular parks anyway, but there are actually those vents, the heating things right there to help families dry off. So that's how I know that you will get extremely wet. I just know, I knew it going in, but this just kind of proves the point that you will get wet I'm looking at families walking away. They're soaked. But it's it looks like it's a really fun ride. So be sure to keep that in mind. If you don't like getting wet, skip it. If you don't mind, go for it. You do have to pay for it too. I guess that's another tip and trick. But bring change of clothes, you know, socks to change into. If you're visiting in the summer, possibly visit it later in the day so you can go back to your hotel after. Or, you know, in the middle of the day so you can dry off in the sun. Just some of the things to keep in mind. So some other tips and tricks, and I've spoken about this in the last video I did on Epic, but one of the important things to keep in mind is you're walking through portals into worlds. And it's important to keep that in mind as you're making your park plan for the day, because as you can see, we're about to walk into Super Nintendo World right there. Once you're in though, it's not as easy to like go from one world to the other. Well, actually it's impossible, you can't. You have to come out to Celestial Park. So for Mario, right, if you go into Super Mario World, you have to come out here into Celestial Park, which is the, you know, connecting all of the worlds. There is How to Train a Dragon, Isle of Berk. It's important though from a planning standpoint, right? Because like you want to plan your day, and once you're in Super Nintendo World, like if you can get onto all of the rides or do whatever you want to do, you want to be sure to do that or plan to do that, right? Because it's not as easy to go from, let's say at Magic Kingdom, to go from Tomorrowland over to Fantasyland. They don't flow as easy as they typically do in other parks, right? So you want to just keep that in mind. As we're walking into Super Nintendo World, the other important tip and trick that we have picked up specifically regarding Super Nintendo World, as you can see, we're about to get onto an escalator to go into this world. This is by far one of the most steps or stairs that I have ever experienced in a theme park. In order for you to get around Super Nintendo World, you really need to be ready to walk on steps, or again, plan yourself enough time to take elevators up and down. I've never seen anything like this, but it adds to the ambiance, right? You're supposed to be going up the chute or the tunnel, right? But be prepared for a lot of stairs, and I'll show you once we get in there. But I'll keep you on it so you can pretty much experience walking into Super Nintendo World with me. I'll show you guys what it's all about. So we're coming through here, and we are gonna come out, and just wait till you see this. I mean, it's just complete chaos in a great way, you know? But again, so look, here are the stairs. You can see stairs, but just really, really cool. All right, so another important thing to keep in mind, if you are a Universal Orlando vet, you'll be familiar with these right here. So they do have the Coke Freestyle cups. They actually have them everywhere. There's a lot more Coke Freestyle cups in Epic than I've seen in any of the other Universal Orlando parks. Even in the quick service, I really love what Universal did. In the quick service, this is essentially, you can order a soda at your quick service meal, and they'll bring you a cup, and you just go up to the Coke Freestyle cup to go ahead and grab your drink. The other great tip and trick here is that it is one of the best ways to save money. If you get a Coke Freestyle cup at the beginning of your vacation, you get unlimited refills throughout your trip. I've spoken about food a couple of times now, but one of the things I do have to mention as it's coming to mind is the quick service meals are a little bit more expensive than what we have seen in the past. But like I said, I think it's worth it because you're getting a great meal out of it. But I would budget about $25 per person per meal if you're doing the quick service meals here in the park. And when you're talking about $25 per person, right, that's why you could see it's important, where I'm budgeting around $5 to $6 for drinks in that equation. But if you get the Coke Freestyle cup, you could easily save, what is that right there? For a family of 4, you're saving $20 per meal right there. So it starts to add up, and it's kind of a no-brainer. But just some of the things to keep in mind. So something else to keep in mind, if you are coming to Epic and you're like, you wanna know what? I've been out to Universal Hollywood, we've done Super Nintendo World. What they don't have in Universal Hollywood is Donkey Kong Country. So we have a whole new, what's up? As we got the Universal team members joining in on the fun behind us. So we have a whole new section, and we have a brand new ride in Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. But where we're really here for This is going to be where there is a Donkey Kong meet and greet. What we're really here for is the treat, the ice cream. So we're going to go get ourselves a snack as we have jumping coasters behind us. It's so well done. This is so much fun. We're in Toad Stew Cafe. There's 2 tips and tricks. I'm trying to make sure my mic's on. 2 tips and tricks that I picked up. First is, the odd thing is that we've been eating at the parks a lot. There's no salt and pepper on the tables, and also the ketchup was like, they brought us like one little small thing of ketchup. So bring your salt and pepper from home. I'm joking, kind of, but if you want, like, if that you're the type of person that you need salt and pepper, of course you can ask for it. But maybe you have like the little, like the paper packets of salt and pepper. Bring it. I don't know what to say. The other tip and trick that it's, this is like odd, but these are the things that I think about that's important for families, right? We have not had one restroom inside of one of the quick service restaurants yet. So if you're coming and you're going to a quick service restaurant, go to the bathroom before you come and sit down. I legit just left Toad Stew Cafe and the bathroom was like across Super Nintendo World. It's not a big deal for me, but if you're a family, right, and you have to take your little one to the bathroom, it is a big deal. It's going to take you like 20 minutes to get over there, to get back. So like those are just the little things. Try to go before you sit down, and it'll be a lot easier. Once you sit down, you can enjoy your meal. And there's a lot to enjoy here. The benefit is there is a lot going on. This is one of the coolest restaurants here in Super Nintendo. All right, so one of the tips and tricks that I'm thinking should work in theory. Now this has to do with how you tackle the rides. Now, of course, Super Nintendo World is open for early park admission. But what I'm thinking is if you don't have early park admission, you want to come and tackle this world or this area of the park later at night. Now, the reason why I think this will work is we came the other day, like I said, and early in the morning around, when the park opened, 11 o'clock, we had Mario Kart, Bowser's Challenge, and then we had Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. Both of them had a 90-minute wait at that point in time. Then when we came back here at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, Mario Kart had 25 minutes and Donkey Kong had 45 minutes. So we definitely need the park to open up and to really get, normal crowds here. But like in theory, the flow of the park should match up. Early park admission is here, so guests come in the morning. So again, in theory, it should make sense to go and target this part if you don't have early park admission later at night. If you don't have early park admission too, I probably would go over to Isle of Berk. I feel like you'll get a lot done over there, especially in the beginning because over in Dark Universe, Monsters Unchained, we went to go get on it again today and it went down when we went to get on it. It was the same case the other morning. We went on that first thing in the morning, the ride went down. That ride there's so much going on that Universal's, it's normal, they're working out the kinks, but I feel like Isle of Berk is the safer bet for the first couple of months. Showing up anyway. So another cool thing, something that I love, is before each of the rides, they actually have the ride seat that you can come and test out to see if you're comfortable on it, see if it's a good fit, right? So keep an eye out on that. I pretty much have seen it on every single one of the major rides here at Epic Universe. We're gonna go walk up. We're gonna go up to the second floor. We're gonna walk up these steps right here. All right, so some of the other things to keep in mind is here in Super Nintendo World, they have some souvenir. They have a popcorn bucket, which looks really cool, and then they also have specialty refillable drinks. So we're in the store now. You guys can see how much stuff they have going on, some really, really cool merch. This is the exit of Mario Kart. Just checking out the merch, seeing what's going on. All right, so another important thing to keep in mind coming into Super Nintendo World, there is a bunch of character meet and greets. So I don't want to just guest interacting, to be respectful. They have a Peach meet and greet. There's also a Toad meet and greet. We already covered Donkey Kong is out in Donkey Kong Country. So just keep an eye out. Again, families with kids, these character meet and greets here in Super Nintendo World are going to be really, really cool. So now you guys can see here is Princess Peach for the Peach meet and greet. So it was really, really cool. And then, like I said, they do have Toad. And we're gonna go see if Donkey Kong hopefully will be out a little bit later as Peach goes. All right, guys, so we're gonna give this a try. I've seen some people do it. So we haven't been in here yet. If you play the OG games, you know what that is. You could just see, there's just really, really cool interactive things everywhere. And I think this is a big part of why, you know, Universal is essentially saying, like, you could spend 2 full days here just because of how much, like I said earlier, exploring there is to do. And so right there, hit it again? Right there is one of like the other ones, right? It's not like an obvious point that you can hit. So we're just exploring now. We got the little bombs everywhere. Guys, I've experienced this in real time with you guys. I've never experienced this before. I'm gonna go enjoy it myself. So I would say if you get the power-up band, make sure you come in here because this is actually so incredible. They do not have this in Super Nintendo World Hollywood, but you really get to come in. You can see these are you're looking for the M's here. Over in Donkey Kong Country, they have different, but that's essentially the premise. You want to look for those symbols outside of the question boxes. All right, so we made it over to Harry Potter and the Ministry of Magic. So one of the tips and tricks here, even if you visited Universal Orlando in the past, is they actually have a brand new interactive wand. So it's an upgraded version, and there are a ton of interactive spell locations here in the Ministry of Magic at Epicuniverse. So you can see there's a bunch in this corner over here. And what you want to do is you want to keep an eye out for the medallion on the floor, and that's going to be where you can go and you can cast your spells. All right, so I don't know if you guys can hear what's going on behind me, but we are in Harry Potter still, and one of the wand locations is actually interactive, where the woman on the other end of the spell is actually, she's in a photo, a moving photograph, and she's speaking with the kids right now and actually asking them questions and interacting with them, saying like, is this your sister? How is your vacation going? Like, did you travel by flu powder? Really, really cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on here. So keep an eye out. Of course, it's an upgraded experience, but if you do upgrade and get the interactive wand, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So this next tip and trick is for the main ride here within the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and that is the Battle of the Ministry right there. So at this point in time, the time of the recording of this video anyway, there is a virtual queue to get onto this ride. So I'm just saying it just so you guys are aware once you come to the theme park. So part of what you need to do before you get here is make sure that you add your tickets to the Universal Orlando app. And a lot of clients buy their tickets from us, from at the Park Prodigy, to save some money, and we also have some added benefits that come with our tickets. So a lot of our clients will go to the Park Prodigy to take advantage of some discounted tickets. One additional step, all you have to do is after you pick up the ticket, you just add it to the Universal Orlando app. You can very easily just take a photo of the back of your ticket. But right now they're dropping virtual queue chances 3 times a day. I'm not going to talk about the times just because I have a feeling that once the parks open up officially, those times will change. So just be aware that they are dropping right now, projected to be 3 different times a day. What I would say too is we're frustrated with the virtual queue to this point. It's very wonky. I really hope that Universal Orlando can figure it out because we're from what we could see so far, we're clicking on the virtual queue. We're adding, hey, we have 2 people in our party. We're going to click on what is appearing as a return time, and it's just giving us a prompt that says this time is no longer available, even though the times are there, and we're just clicking and clicking and clicking. One of the things that we did was, some of the things we've read online are do not be on the Wi-Fi, pick the furthest out return time. But I mean, my honest opinion is they need to do a better job. They need to figure out the virtual queue, especially since this is probably going to be the most popular ride here. The reason why I'm talking about it, you don't want to come in and be disappointed. You do have to make sure that you can get yourself on one of the virtual queues. So the caveat to get on to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Battle of the Ministry, you might think, well, Mike, what if I buy the Express Pass? will that guarantee me access to this ride? Well, no, unfortunately, at this point in time anyway, this ride is not included with the Universal Express Pass. So the one way to guarantee and make sure that you get onto this ride and skip the line is by doing a Universal VIP tour. And again, do not hate the messenger here. I'm just giving you guys the facts. You know, I don't like it any more than you might like it at home, or maybe you like the Universal VIP tour. Maybe it's just your thing. It's a great experience. It's a premium product. They give you a great experience. They roll the red carpet out. At this point in time, that is my honest opinion, that is the best way to guarantee that you get on this ride. Hopefully Universal Orlando can fix the virtual queue, and then it will be a lot easier. But right now in dress rehearsal anyway, it's not running as smooth as I think, you know, everyone would have hoped. All right, so a tip and trick is, I don't know if you guys can hear me, a tip and trick is give yourself time to explore after the Battle of the Ministry. So this queue is completely insane. If you are a Harry Potter fan, you're gonna wanna give yourself a couple extra minutes to just take a step back and enjoy it. I will say too, the important thing for me to note is, I don't know if it's guaranteed that Universal will keep the virtual queue. I don't know. I'm just telling you guys that's how it's going right now, but we are in dress rehearsal, so hopefully they will change it. One of the additional tips and tricks that I would say is if you get nauseous and queasy on rides, I did get a little, you know, my stomach is kind of turning a little bit on this ride. So just keep that in mind. Definitely be sure to do whatever you think would help you, you know, deal with nausea coming on this ride. I actually, if you watch my videos, the Monsters Unchained ride is actually the same ride system as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, but I didn't get nauseous on that ride. This was the one that kind of made me feel a little, you know, uneasy. So just keep that in mind coming on. Again, still an amazing ride. It really is. They did an incredible job. Like the amount of detail that went into this ride for every Harry Potter fan, you're going to simply love it. But that's just one of the things you have to be aware of. Now over to some of the great tips and tricks again, right, of course. Within the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, of course, we do have butterbeer. So you can enjoy butterbeer, but one of the things that we really enjoyed is the main restaurant here, right when you walk in, Café La Serene. Someone's gonna come at me in the comment section, I already know. But this is the brand new Wizarding World of Harry Potter restaurant, one of them. Anyway, right here, and there is a butterbeer crepe. We actually did a Instagram food review on it. It was amazing. So if you love butterbeer, you're going to really enjoy this brand new butterbeer crepe that they do have here at Epicuniverse. So one of the other really enjoyable things about Epic is that it really comes alive at night also. And this is something that I feel like we've been lacking at Universal, you know. Of course, outside of Halloween Horror Nights is a different story, but just in general, this park is something like we've never had at Universal before. Just, we have the fountain, which will do a show at night. And then also when you start looking at the different lands, you have Constellation Carousel, which is beautiful at night. You have Super Nintendo World, which is completely insane at night. I mean, it's bananas. If you guys thought it was cool during the day, you have to go at night. Everything going on in Dark Universe, you could see right now, you see that's the castle right there. It's lit up. It's just, this park is amazing at night. And it's something that's going to be really enjoyable, especially when you go into the summer and you have families coming down and you want to stay out late and just enjoy the time away from school and work. This is the park at Universal Orlando now to do it at, and it's really exciting. All right, so we're back over at Dark Universe, and again, I just spoke about it in the middle of Celestial Park, but we're back in here, and now we're in here at night, and you could see it is a completely different vibe. And again, one of the more enjoyable parts about Epic is, especially, right, Dark Universe, look at this behind me. I mean, it's just really cool. And they did such a great job with everything. So we came over to what's not an attraction, but wouldn't be called the Burning Blade Tavern if something didn't go up in flames. So we're just standing here. We're gonna wait and see what happens. The Curse of the Werewolf is behind me, and you guys could see now what I said earlier in the video, how coming at night really does add a different layer to that ride. So we're just hanging out, enjoying the night. We'll see what happens. It looks like it. We could be right here. I really hope so, because my phone's got 10% battery. Wow. So we were right. And honestly, there's a lot of people standing behind us. This is like I said, this is an attraction in itself. Like everyone came, not everyone, but there's a lot of people behind me. A bunch of people came to see this. So that's here at the Burning Blade Tavern. So there's another tip and trick within that I'm remembering. These doors right here are extremely heavy. So if you do the mobile ordering, like I mentioned before, and let's say if you're mobile ordering for a family, right, you have to be mindful of that, because if you have everyone's food and you're trying to open up these doors, it's going to be extremely difficult. So you definitely need more than one person to come and grab your food. So my girlfriend wants to kill me because of my commentary. But what am I supposed to do? It was a minute.
I'm trying to get a video with the
I'm
music.
sorry.
I hear you going, it's about to happen.
It was a minute worth. I had to keep you guys entertained at home. I don't make the rules. This is showbiz. What can I do? I wasn't expecting a minute leading up to it going on fire.
Maybe you should do your research.
So this is a tip and trick though within itself. Because we were standing there for a while, we believe it goes off around every 15 minutes. So on the official Universal website, it says that it goes up in flames several times an hour. Take it for what it's worth. We believe it's around every 15 minutes. And there was a lot of people behind us. One of the other cool things too is we passed the snack stand over there. They have Frankenstein pretzels. So it's just, you know, cute little snack you can grab. But we're gonna go over to Super Nintendo World. My phone might die, but we'll see if we can get you some last minute tips and tricks before we end this video. And then these are just some of the little things you could see. The Dark Universe really is coming to life at night. These are some of the things that you just didn't see before. So just keep an eye out, you know, as this land does come alive at night. And so right as I say that the land comes alive at night, we do have a special character sighting, which this is different from the character meet and greet that we kind of went and saw before. All right, so we came back to Super Nintendo World right before we ended the night, just to give you an idea of what it looks like at night. And so, I mean, it's just as incredible and loud at night as it is during the day. But it's amazing. I really think this section is like so cool at night with all of the lights and stuff. All right, so something we learned, there is a trending character going on. If you know, to find a Super Nintendo World character, if you're looking for Toad, he is essentially, that's Toadstool Cafe. Toad can be found at the exit of Toadstool Cafe. If you know, you know. And I think that's gonna be our last tip and trick for the night. This was so much fun. Honestly, this Epic Universe has been amazing just from the couple days that we've been lucky enough to spend and explore. And my girlfriend said it perfect. It's like we have a brand new playground to just run around and experience all of this, all of us, for the first time, collectively, which is something we haven't had in 25 years. It's amazing. It's so much fun. I'm loving every second of it. So that is it, everyone. Those are some of my tips and tricks for your day here at Epic Universe. As you can see, there is a ton of stuff going on here at the parks. I really hope that you found this video helpful. And if you are in the process of planning that Universal Orlando trip, to come and visit Epicuniverse. Just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. As a thank you for sticking around all the way till the end of this video, I do have a special promo code you can go use. I actually have two promo codes. One is for a hotel and ticket vacation package. That promo code is MAGIC50. You'll grab an extra $50 off. The next promo code is YouTube25. I didn't know which one I wanted to give you. YouTube25 is for $25 off. That is going to be for ticket-only orders, but we would love to help you plan an amazing Universal Orlando trip, and we would really love the support at our small business, the Park Prodigy. I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much, and until next time, I will talk